I just had an amazing experience during a breathwork session with Kristi Locks. And we were dedicating the session to the conflict that's going on in Israel and the Israel-Palestinian conflict. And I've only seen one picture of that conflict, and it's a picture of a car on fire, like in a war-torn area, that we've seen so many of those pictures. And so that's the image that I had going into this. And she said, feel the emotions that this brings up. And so I felt anger and confusion and sadness. And I've always kind of been confused by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I've never really understood it. At times I have, and then I don't understand it. And so I had confusion going in. And then as we started, before we got started with the breath, she said, imagine, do you know anybody that's over there? Do you know anybody in Israel? And I thought of Jesus. And I thought of, every time I think of that area, I think of Jesus. And I think of the the conflict that's going on now, and it's the same as it's been for 2,000 years. It is the same that Jesus was here to battle against the Romans and against government, and to teach what the body is capable of. And so as we started breathing, I was just in Marco Island, and one thing that I took away from that retreat is Dr. Joe said that when he does the breath work, he begins in the pineal gland. He thinks of, that's where he sees his consciousness, is in the pineal gland. And so I've been working with that, and it's bringing the energy up. Instead of being in the consciousness of my first center, I am in the consciousness of my sixth center and bringing the energy up to me. And it changes. It's been a game changer for me because I'm at a raised consciousness already. And then I started feeling the anger, the sadness, the confusion. And as I got into my pineal gland, I was transmuting that emotion, and I could feel it leaving my body. So I let the emotion leave me. And then I was in a space of clarity being in the pineal gland. And I think about Yeshua, or Jesus, and the contract he signed. You know, the whole bus stop conversation that we are souls in these human bodies, and that we signed a contract before we came down here as to what our purpose is on this earth. And the contract that Jesus signed was a doozy, because he has done a lot to change this world. It's still happening over there. It's still happening everywhere. And during the breathwork, Kristi said, imagine no borders, no governments. And I believe that's where we're headed, is to a world where we are community. I mean, we just did the worldwide walk, and Dr. Joe led us in talking about change and what it takes to change this world. And so I went from my pineal gland, I was in my heart, and I was thinking about what the Jewish people, the contract that they signed, because the Jewish people have been through so much over thousands of years, oppression in so many different ways, and it's still going on. And I think about, it's going to take a catalyst in order to change this world. And it's going to be difficult. And I see what's happening right now. This is my personal opinion, as a catalyst for change and breaking down borders and governments. And how do we get there? How do we build a community? Is with the love that we have during this process. I was thinking about Jesus. I was seeing images of Israel, of Jerusalem, of ancient times, dirt roads, bare feet, sandaled feet walking. And in my heart, Kristi had said there's 12 of us in this breathwork Zoom call. And so I thought we were the 12 apostles. And I thought, what would it feel like to have the heart of an apostle, to be leading the world in change, to be leading the world from the heart, from a belief system that the apostles had that not a lot of people believed in. Kind of like the quantum physics model, the quantum model of reality. Not a lot of people believe in that, but we do. And I'm not saying I'm an apostle. I'm saying that to have an apostle's heart, imagine that. I watched the show The Chosen, and I feel more of what they went through. That was a struggle for the apostles. Can you imagine that? And that struggle is still happening in a larger, broader, bigger scale, covered by CNN, covered by every image. It's still the same struggle of going up against the machine as the individuals aching, calling for change. So that's what I felt today. And feeling the strife that they are going through, and what can I do to help is to love and to send love. And I felt it in such a beautiful, harmonized, connected way today. I'm grateful for the emotions, for the feelings that I had today, and how it worked out. And then during all of this, I clarified my purpose for my podcast and clarified a purpose for me to help the world and for the change that I can make and what I can do to continually evolve into my next level. And to be in that clarity, in that creative state all the time. My butt hurt. My leg was twitching, my butt hurt, and Kristi during the breathwork said, whatever's coming up for you, let it be your teacher. Whatever's coming up for you, love it. And so I was looking at my physical body and loving it and transmuting the twitches, and it changed. I was able to focus on my thoughts, and I stayed in my pineal gland while loving in my body, while being in my body and loving that. I am not those twitches in my legs. I'm not those twitches. I am the soul driving this avatar, and I came down here for a reason. And to experience love, that was my intention going into this, along with sending love to the Middle East and around the world. My intention is to experience love and to experience strength and to experience freedom. And what does that feel like for a community to do that? Well, that's what we're pushing for right now. That's what we are doing right now as a community, and I love us. I love that I was at the epicenter for the Worldwide Walk, because I was in Marco Island with Dr. Joe on the day of the Worldwide Walk, and it was so friggin' powerful to see that many people on the beach, all aching for change. And what if the things happening in the world right now are to move us towards change? I'm staying in that mode in so many different ways, and continuing to learn to trust myself to share my message, because the new direction that I just came up with for me is going to be something that I need to step into and have courage to do so. And it goes along with, be careful what you ask for, be careful what you wish for, because when it shows up, you got to step into it. God shows it to you. The universe shows it to you. And if you see it, you got to step into it. Follow the breadcrumbs and step into it. So that's what I'm going to do. All the while sending out love and continuing to learn. So I hope you guys find this enlightening, like I just had an amazing enlightened morning with more to come. Love, love, love.